If you're struggling to forgive yourself, try these 3 quick resets. Okay? Hand on heart, and you want to say, I did the best I could with what I knew, and I release myself. Okay, this is about compassion, self-compassion. You have compassion for other people. You forgive other people very easily, but how easily are you forgiving yourself for things that you weren't aware of? Like, I don't know how many times I realized in the past I didn't have the answers. It's not like I had a mentor or a guide on certain things for me to learn. I had to eventually learn those experiences and those practices and those tools, right, for myself, so I could be better, so I could do better, right? When you know better, you do better. But this is really about self-compassion, not being so hard on yourself, not being like, oh, you should have done this and you're that, because that's also replaying projections from others and your own limiting beliefs about information that you didn't even have privy to at the time. You can't be upset at your parents for not knowing what they didn't know because they didn't have access to it. But you today in 2025, in this beautiful age of Aquarius, you have access to it. So now you get to take these tools and start to forgive yourself, start to be more compassionate towards yourself. Number 2, which is one of my favorites, is rewrite the story. This is something I started to do later on, even when I came here and I moved out. You want to rewrite the story. So you grab a pen and paper, you write down whatever story, whatever experience that you had that, you kind of held yourself too harshly on, whatever you may call it, a quote unquote mistake, and then you cross it out and then you rewrite it. You could say lesson learned. I now integrate the lesson from this experience. You could even sit with this. What did this lesson teach me, right? How could I integrate the lesson from that experience? Where was I in my state of mind? What tools do I have now to implement? Okay, confirmation. So rewrite the story, cross it out, and then destroy it. And remember, you have a new story that you're telling yourself, because you could be playing this old story of past hurts, past pain, mistakes. But those were all just lessons to make you better. If anything, it worked in your favor. Look at it that way. Number 3, this is called the future self anchor. And I like to do this. I don't do this as often, but I like to do it. Sometimes I do it just visually, or I may write it down. I project myself in the future. It's kind of like the idea of, if you want to make $1 million, what does that look like, and work your way back. So you're kind of like doing the same thing. You're envisioning yourself in the future, and you're seeing what your future self is looking at you, right? And saying to you, what are some things that you can do where you are now in the future to start implementing now? How can you forgive yourself in the future to yourself now? That way you're already positioning yourself in the future. You're literally projecting yourself into the future. Dope practice. Try it.